Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest. The weekly national report on thoroughbred racing is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Naira Net, the New York Racing Association simulcasting network. By Lane's End Farm, sponsor of the Thoroughbred Digest Trainer of the Month Award. And by Panhandle Slim Western Clothing, available at all Better Western stores.
And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. We're glad you've joined us again this week for our recap of thoroughbred racing around the nation. We start at America's oldest race course, Saratoga in upstate New York, our Breeders' Cup feature race of the week.
The feature race brought to you by the Breeders' Cup, promoting racing year-round with the Breeders' Cup Budweiser Special Stakes program, the new Premium Stakes program, and the Breeders' Cup Day, racing's $10 million championship.
Well, we were up in Saratoga this past weekend for the Travers, with the second largest crowd in the history of this 120-year-old race. 49,093 came to see one horse, the star of the show, the big horse, Easy Goer. This year's most talked about thoroughbred really put on quite a show before he got to the racetrack. Look here in the saddling paddock, and Easy Goer says, wait, I'm not ready to be saddled just yet. Frightened a number of people, including especially his groom there you see on the lead shank. But as he headed to the racetrack, the crowd really responded to Ogden Phipps's star, surrounded by Naira security, the media, and the fans. Before the race, let's check the conditions. The Travers Grade 1, $1 million added. The classic mile-and-a-quarter distance. The three-year-olds all carry 126-pound derby weight. Here's the field for the Travers. Shy Tom and Clever Trevor. Clever Trevor at 5-1. Doc's leader, a big price. Rounding out the field, Le Voyageur from France at 8-1. Easy Goer, the 1-5 favorite with Pat Day. And then outside, Wa Danzig. Here's the call with special permission from ABC Sports. Here's Dave Johnson with the Travers.
And they're off in the Travers. A clean start, and Clever Trevor, as expected, toward the inside, takes the lead. Roy Danzig, surprisingly up on the outside into the second spot, and will press the pace early. Le Voyageur is now third. Easy Goer to the outside fourth. Doc's leader is fifth, and Shy Tom at the back of the pack as they round the clubhouse turn. It's Clever Trevor in front and holding on to the lead by a length and a quarter. Roy Danzig is in second by 2.5, make it 3.5 now. Along the inside, Le Voyageur is racing third by a head, and the favorite at 1-5, Easy Goer on the outside is fourth, just 3.5 off the lead now. Then comes Shy Tom, then comes Doc's leader. The sextet moves on to the backstretch. The quarter, relatively slow, 23-1. The half, 46-4. Down the backstretch, the battle on the front end has Clever Trevor on the inside, in front now by half a length. Roy Danzig is second by 4, and Easy Goer now takes third. Le Voyageur dropping back in fourth, Shy Tom fifth, and Doc's leader at the back of the pack, 15 lengths off Clever Trevor. Round the far turn. 3/4 in 1:10 and it's still Clever Trevor in front by 2.5 lengths, and there goes Easy Goer making his move on the outside. Pat Day asks for speed and gets it boldly. Midway on the turn, Clever Trevor at the rail in front by a neck. Easy Goer on the outside second. It's 7 lengths back to Shy Tom, who has moved up on the rail now in third. At the quarter pole, Clever Trevor at the rail. Easy Goer on the outside, stride for stride, head and head. Clever Trevor with a short lead. Easy Goer on the outside, challenges, and down the stretch they come. Easy Goer roars up and takes the lead. It's Easy Goer with Pat Day in front. Clever Trevor is second by 7 lengths. Shy Tom is third. A 16th of a mile to go, and it's all Easy Goer. Pat Day just hand-riding him under the wire. He takes the Travers by 2.5 lengths.
Easy Goer wins the Travers, the third fastest time in the 120-year history of the race. 2 minutes and 4, owned and bred by Ogden Phipps. The son of Aladar out of the Phipps mare Relaxing has now won 10 of 14 starts with 4 seconds, is now over $2.7 million, putting him on top of the 1989 earnings list ahead of Sunday Silence. Let's take another look now with Easy Goer's connections and with Daily Racing Form chart caller Jack Wilson as we go inside the form.
Pat was comfortable going to the first turn, but outside, he was 4 wide, but he looked in no hurry. I do believe he started to pick it up a little earlier than he would normally, but he didn't want Clever Trevor way out there by himself. When they made that turn, he was after him. At the top of the lane, he was within a length, and then he just went on by him from there. Pat rode him with his usual confidence. The horse took a little sidestep coming to the 8th pole after he reached the front, but it was really no problem. Easy Goer was much the best. The time was very impressive.
I mean, this race has been a little bit of a jinx to me, and so I told Denny when we walked in here, I said, I'm glad to win this thing to get it, you know, maybe it's behind me now, but the Travers is a big race in my mind, and, you know, we're tickled to death to have been able to win it.
And the options now for the fall?
Well, we've got 2, and we're going to use either the Woodward or the Super Derby to try to get us to the Breeders' Cup the best way we can, and we'll make that decision sometime this week.
Today, the way the race shaped up with Clever Trevor being almost virtually uncontested on the lead, I was forced to go after him early, and actually made a long, steady half-mile run with this horse, and it just... he was just up to the task and done it handily and done it the way we expected him to.
Very impressive, Easy Goer. When we come back, Bruce Casella joins us. A tribute to a special man in racing, Frank DeFrancis. But first, a look back at some racing history. Bruce Casella has joined us now on the Digest. Obviously, the headline story, the death of Frank DeFrancis. And Bruce, the news reached us in Saratoga Friday. It stunned the racing community. He was so highly thought of. He was such a driving force. Our thoughts go out certainly to his family and all those connected with Frank DeFrancis' operation. He'll be sorely missed by this industry.
It's one of those things, Chris, that you can hardly believe when you hear it. It's just a sad, sad thing. He was just 62 years old, the co-owner of Maryland's Pimlico and Laurel Racecourses. He suffered a major heart attack back in June and was recovering in Miami, Florida. Last Friday, Frank DeFrancis passed away. He'd accomplished so much for Maryland racing, and this past spring was given an award of merit by the Sport of Kings.
British College is proud to present the Olympiad Award of Excellence for the Sport of Kings to Frank DeFrancis in recognition of outstanding contribution to the thoroughbred racing industry.
We're building on a base, on a tradition. You know, Maryland Jockey Club is the oldest sporting club in America. This racetrack is the 2nd oldest in America, only to Saratoga. And of course, we run here all year round. And so we have our own niche in racing history. And what we're doing, Dave, is building on that history, the Preakness, the Pimlico Special, the Maryland Million, and over at Laurel, the International, the Salim and the Futurity, and bringing it into the 21st century.
He'll not only be missed by Maryland racing, as we said, but by racing abroad around the world. Well, on to more pleasant things now. The 2-year-old crop has been superb this past racing season at Saratoga. That should mean fun times for all you Triple Crown watchers next year. Here's Hall of Fame trainer Leroy Jolly.
To tell you how strong the maidens have run, there's a horse here who won the Saratoga Special on the 2nd day of the meeting. He was a beautiful $500,000 well-bred yearling last year. He's undefeated, and he's won 3 stakes. Nobody's mentioned his name in a week. They're all talking about the horses that broke their maidens. So the maidens have been most impressive. They've run fast. They're good-looking horses with good pedigree. So I would think from this group of horses, we're going to have some very, very talented horses this fall in the stakes, and next spring in the 3-year-old classics. They're going to be very good.
That's right, Leroy, and a lot of these horses are being fed some wild stuff. Stuff like bee pollen. You heard me, bee pollen. Would you believe Charlie Whittingham feeds this stuff to Sunday Silence? Well, why all the buzz about bee pollen?
Bee pollen is a natural product. It comes straight from the hive to the horses. It has every mineral, every vitamin, every amino acid known to man in perfect balance naturally. All of these trainers are looking for something that's going to be natural to the horse, like oats and hay and so forth. There's 22 basic elements in a horse's body that have to be replaced by nutrient value, and bee pollen has all of them in perfect balance.
Well, not only do the horses get bee pollen, but humans can eat it too. And it says right here, 1 granule for 7 days. That starts you off, so this stuff must be pretty potent. You can make bee pollen candy, bee pollen milkshakes, and I want you to try some of this stuff. This will help your diet, I think.
Buzz off with this now. I'll get some later. Time to go to the races now. First of our 3 race recap sections as we join Bruce Casella.
Chris, the gates are open at Woodbine for the third leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. The favorite is With Approval, who won the first two legs and is running to make history, and $1 million bonus.
Battle shapes up as they run through the far turn. It's With Approval, a force to be reckoned with as they come to the quarter pole. He takes the lead. Toledo Salamanca second. Wave rises third. Totodrum putting the run towards the inside. And they're coming through the stretch, and here he comes. It's With Approval by 4. Toledo.
And for the third time, Canada's Triple Crown is captured as With Approval wins with Don Seymour over Most Valiant and Toledo Salamanca. With Approval now has lifetime earnings of over $1.8 million. 3-year-old is by Cairo out of the Buckpasser mare Passing Mood. It's trained by Roger Atfield. Now let's move to Arlington International now for the round table. The favorite there is Ebros, carrying the high weight of 118 pounds.
With early fires, Dispersal comes back. Here comes Jake McHugh in the long shot. Also there on the outside, Ebros. It's Dispersal. Ebros flying on the outside. Jake McHugh, Dispersal in front driving. Here's Ebros.
And what a battle here as Ebros and Dispersal battle it out, with Ebros winning it by a head with George Velasquez. Ebros is by Mr. Prospector out of Scuff. He's trained by Dick Lundy. Ebros was purchased at Keeneland in July of 1987 for $350,000. Let's move now to Ellis Park in Kentucky for the Gardenia Stakes. The top choice here is Lieutenant Leo.
Outside, Leave It Be is between horses, Lieutenant Leo. Gallant Rider comes running from much further back. Miss Barber's into the hunt and driving the rail. Here comes Lawyer Talk, stretch run. Classic Value, just a slim lead. Miss Barber is right there, flying on the inside. Here comes Lawyer Talk from much further back. Gallant Rider comes flying up the outside. Lawyer Talk on the inside.
And Lawyer Talk wins with Mary Dozier over Gallant Rider and Miss Barber. Lawyer Talk is by Alleged out of Jibber Jabber and is trained by Sam Raymer. To Monmouth Park now in New Jersey, and the Longfellow Handicap. The heavy favorite here is Yankee Affair.
They turn for home, and it's still double booked, showing the way. Valid Fun coming on with Yankee Affair on the outside. It's double booked in front. Yankee Affair now closing fast on the outside. Double booked holding the lead. Yankee Affair coming on. It's Yankee Affair and double booked going stride for stride.
And double booked gets a 15-pound weight break and holds on to win it by a nose with Art Madrid over the heavy favorite Yankee Affair, carrying 123 pounds. Valid Fun ran third. Double booked is by Mary's Book at a Flowing Bowl and is trained by Linda Rice. We'll have more racing later in the show.
All right, Bruce, Horse Talk is coming up next. First, another look back at a historical moment in thoroughbred racing. Racing has been a family affair for a couple of trainers on the East Coast. Here's Dave Johnson with Horse Talk to tell us more.
Talking horses with a father-son training combination, Danny and Mark Pearlswick. Danny, did you want him to be a trainer too?
I had mixed emotions about it. We were hoping he'd go to school and be a veterinarian, but he wanted to be a trainer, so that's what he wound up being.
And Mark, was there ever a time that you thought you wouldn't be in the horse business?
Yes, I did. Probably in the late 70s when I was traveling through Panama, I thought maybe I'd like to stay down there and be a surf bum.
Is that right? Now, what about it? Do you guys split up the duties, or do you work together all day long?
We work together sometimes. Mark has his own horses, and I have my own horses, and he helps me when I need him, and I help him when he needs me.
Is he a good trainer?
Very good.
And what about your dad? You still learning anything, Mark?
I'm learning something every day.
Did you learn anything from him about training when he was handling Lord Avey?
Well, I'd like to have the same kind of horse myself so I can practice what he taught me on a horse like that.
Tell us about that fine thoroughbred.
There's only one in a million, and he's one of them. You don't get too many horses like that in your lifetime unless you train for some big outfit that has all the best blood. He was the best horse we ever trained. He was a pleasure to train, and it's unfortunate that he didn't get to the Triple Crown races because I really believe he would have won them.
Danny, what makes a good horse?
I think there's a lot of things that make a good horse. I think it's the horse's own nomenclature, his own makeup. Conformation has a lot to do with it, too. But good horses are good horses, and you can tell them anywhere.
And if you could tell the folks out there something about this guy, what would it be?
I think it's a real treat for myself to be working with my father, and we're closer
as partners as we are as friends.
Talking horses with father and son, Mark and Danny Pearlswig. More horse talk next week.
Good people, we'll see him at Monmouth Park this weekend. Let's get back to the races now. It's post time at one of the most beautiful racetracks in America.
It's Saratoga and another big week of top races. Let's begin with the King's Bishop. The favorite is Fast Play.
The half and 45 and 2. It's still Houston by 2. Fast Play, second by a length. Fierce Fighter on the outside of JR's Gift, about 3 to Burn Station, then Climb the Stars as they reach the top of the stretch. Houston continues to lead, but by only a length. Fast Play on the outside, second by a length. Then JR's Gift and Fierce Fighter. They're at the 8th pole. Houston still leads by a length. Fast Play is still in second. They are approaching the 16th pole. Houston now gets clear by 2.
And Houston wins it, breaking a 3-race losing streak with Pat Day, wire to wire over Fast Play and Fierce Fighter. Houston, now 5 for 9 lifetime, is by Seattle Slew out of Smart Angle and is trained by D. Wayne Lucas. The 3-year-old was purchased at Keeneland in July of 1987 for $2.9 million. Now to the Forgo handicap at Saratoga, a race for the 3-year-olds and upward. Let's watch.
Quick Call enters the stretch in front. It's still Quick Call by a half, gaining ground on the rail. Dancing Spree gaining ground on the outside. Swickly, Crusader Sword back into 4th. Dancing Spree on the inside of Quick Call. Those two pass the 8th pole together. Quick Call has a lead by a half. Dancing Spree on the rail, second by 2. Swickly is 3rd.
And what a finish as Quick Call goes wire to wire, holding off Dancing Spree, and Swickly ran 3rd. Quick Call is a 5-year-old by Quack out of Sadie Mae and is trained by Sidney Waters. Earlier in the week, it was the Adirondack. The top choice here is the entry of Saratoga Sizzle and Absolute Citron.
Dance Colony on the outside now gets the lead. Saratoga Sizzle is second. On the rail is Absolute Citron, dropping back, gaining ground on the outside. In Full Cry, also moving up is Lucy's Glory. They pass the 8th pole. Dance Colony leads the way by a half. On the outside, In Full Cry, under the whip, is second, but is gaining ground. They pass 16th pole.
It's Dance Colony with Jose Santos over In Full Cry and Saratoga Sizzle. Dance Colony is by Pleasant Colony out of Dance Review and is conditioned by Ross Pierce. We'll have more races in just a bit.
But first, we have a break coming up with some birthday wishes from one of Thoroughbred Racing's top riders. Well, we're back on the rail, ready to go back to the races. Out to the West Coast now, where the turf meets the surf to Old Del Mar.
They're off and running at Del Mar for the Rancho Bernardo. The top choice here is Miss Brio.
Miss Brio is 6 off the leader. They have an 1/8 of a mile to run, and Cool Arrival's kicking on with it from Super AV. But it's Cool Arrival clear with a 1/16 of a mile to go. And Cool Arrival now draws clear.
And Cool Arrival is cool on this day, winning with Lafitte Pinkai Jr. over Super AV and Survive. Cool Arrival is a 3-year-old by Relaunch out of Irish Arrival and is conditioned by Mel Studi. Turning now to the Del Mar Derby, and the favorite in this field is the entry of River Master and Live the Dream.
It's for home, and it's Hawkster by 3 lengths. Rivermaster chasing him home now in second. Despair clear. Artwork starting to run on 3rd, but Hawkster's opening up again.
And Hawkster wins it by 5 lengths with jockey Pat Valenzuela, who breaks an 0 for 52 slump. Second was River Master. Lodi ran 3rd. Hawkster is by Silver Hawk out of Straight Lane and is trained by Ron McAnally. Hawkster was purchased at Keeneland in September of 1987 for $26,000. One more stake now at Del Mar. It's the Ramona. The favorite here is the entry of Down Again and Fitzwilliam Place.
In the Ramona, Brown Bess goes up to get the lead. Whip comes out on Fitzwilliam Place, then Madria Jessie, Daring Doon in the pink cap, and Galoop now coming flying if she can find room. An 1/8 to go, Brown Bess in front, Galoop coming fast at her, Brown Bess, Galoop, Daring Doon on the inside, here's the wire.
And what a nail-biter, folks, as Brown Bess wins it over Daring Doon and Galoop. Brown Bess is a 7-year-old by Patron out of Chickadee and is trained by Charles Genda. One final race to show you now, this from Thistledown. It's the Budweiser Breeders' Cup. The favorite here is Simply Majestic.
With an eighth of a mile left to go. On the left-hand whipping, Simply Majestic is racing second. Lay down, races third. Off the stage, coming on the rail. Here they come in deep stretch. Simply Majestic now asserts authority.
And Simply Majestic is definitely king of the Budweiser races, winning today over Stop the Stage and Rosen Warrior. Simply Majestic is a 5-year-old by Majestic Light out of Beaming Bride and is trained by John Paracella.
Thank you, Bruce. Time now for our Lanes In Train of the Month update as we wind down these final days of August. It starts, of course, with Chuck McGahee, training Easy Goer for the big win in the $1 million Travers at Saratoga. Now, we usually don't mention a trainer who finishes second, but what a performance Donnie Von Hemel turned in getting Clever Trevor ready for that outstanding race against Easy Goer. Also, certainly credit goes to Canada's top trainer, Roger Atfield, winning 2 big stakes at Woodbine. Congratulations again for the Canadian Triple Crown with approval, winning there in the Breeders' Stakes, and ever steady in the Bull Page Stakes. And Richard Lundy with a fine job with Ebros, winning the Round Table Handicap. Well, it's time now for our Thoroughbred Racing Communications Poll. We'll take a look at the top 10 thoroughbreds across the nation, then back to tell you about our live telecast coming up this weekend on ESPN. Well, good evening this week. Let's look at some big races this weekend. The Hopeful Stakes, the 2-year-olds in the spotlight at Saratoga on Saturday. Also on Saturday, the Island Handicap. We'll be telling you more about that big race. Sunday, the Del Mar Oaks of the 3-year-old fillies in California. Big race in Washington, the Long Acres Mile, the John A. Morris at Saratoga. They wrap things up at Saratoga with a spinaway on Monday. No question, though, Bruce, the big race, the Island, maybe the best handicap race of the summer.
That's right, Chris. Get your TV set warmed up. This race has everything. Top closers, top speed balls. It includes private terms, crypto clearance, proper reality, present value, and as I said, the Speedster Slew City Slew, and it is going to be a dandy of a race.
Let's take a look at it here on ESPN. We hope you'll join us Saturday, 5 to 6, live from Monmouth Park. It's the $500,000 Island Handicap. And we'll have a complete recap of all the top stories in thoroughbred racing. Join us next week on the Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest.
Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest, the weekly national report on thoroughbred racing, has been brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship. And by the Illinois Department of Agriculture,